Greetings, everybody. Rastafari, peace and love. Glad to see you all, man. Haven't seen y'all in a long time. This is another edition of Black Issues, man. And I'm your host, your most gracious brother. Love you all. Chaka Ben. So it's been a while, man. I haven't seen you all in a minute, man. How's y'all been doing? Y'all all been doing all right? Yeah, man, I took some time off because I've been wanting to see what's really going on out here, man. And sometimes you got to take a stop back, Sometimes you got to just sit back and you got to just watch and see what's happening. And you got to, look at, where things have been and where things is going, you know what I mean? So, But before I continue with the show, and today's show is going to be titled basically white supremacist maneuvers, you know what I mean? And that's actually the title of today's show. It's going to be titled White Supremacist Maneuvers. And we're going to be talking about the latest maneuvers that's been going on around the diaspora, here in America mostly, and, probably some parts of the world. But before we go on with that title, in cartel, which is going to be about 12 different issues that we're going to touch on, from the Kyle Rittenhouses to the, the money being funded to the woke campaign, so on and so on, the Kamala Charlemagne thing. We're going to touch on all that. But what we want to touch on first is I want to give respect and I want to give love, and I want to also give rest in power to the two people. Number one, I want to give a rest in power to the late great Robbie Shakespeare. He passed just about maybe a week or so ago, and he was 68 when he passed. For those you all don't know who Robbie Shakespeare is, in the international music world, they definitely know who he is, and also in the reggae world, they definitely know who he is. You can't really be a real culture reggae artist if you hadn't had your tune touched by Robbie Shakespeare. Robbie Shakespeare and Sly and Robbie, period. They're a duo called Sly and Robbie, and they had a production company called Taxi Gang and the Taxi Cab Gang, and they basically work with the who's who of everybody in reggae and the who's who of almost everybody in rock and the who's who of everybody in a lot of genres of music. So Sly and Robbie, if you don't have Sly and Robbie on your tune as a maybe rock or funk or whatever, it's like being in the rap world and you ain't got no premier beat on there. If you ain't got no premier beat, you ain't no real rapper. We're just born. I mean, just keep it a buck. If you a real thorough rapper, you got to have a premier beat on your joint. If you don't got no premier beat, then you still coming. You know what I'm saying? You learning still. So that's who Robbie Shakespeare is, one of the most world-renowned bass players. Sly Dunbar it has some of the most unique names, right? Most powerful, gracious names. Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare. How about that? Sly Dunbar was a drummer, and Robbie Shakespeare was the bass player. And Robbie Shakespeare is one of the baddest bass players in the world. And my cousin Judah tells me about a concert he saw with Peter Tosh back in the day. And I'll share a tad bit with you. And it touches me when he tells me this concert. He said he was outside, and, just chilling. He didn't have no money, he didn't have no ticket. And he saw the band went in, so he's sitting there. So the guy, the bouncer, actually waiting for. He said he with the band, and so the guy said, "Wait right here." So he waited. So he went inside, and he went and got I think it was Robbie and Sly. So I guess they were like the conductors of the band because these guys are band leaders. And so they came in, Robbie and Sly came outside the stage door and said, "Hey," and my cousin at the time was like maybe 18 years old. And they said to him, "Hey, is this guy with you?" He's a young Rasta. And then Robbie and Sly looked at him and said, "Yeah, he's with us." And he said, "Come on in, man, Rastafari." And they were backing up Peter Tosh at the time. And that was Peter Tosh Legalize It tour, when he had came out with the Legalize It album. For those of you who are music buffs and know anything about this era I'm talking about, so they were on tour here in America at the time, in visiting DC at the Warner Theater. So you know what I'm saying. So he said to see those guys in concert was nothing short of brilliance, because he said he sees something done that was never really done on a stage before, and he said it was where they all were playing on the stage, and Peter just walked off the stage, and one by one each musician left off, and then even the drummer Sly guy been walked off, and they just left Robbie up there. And they said Robbie was rubber dubbing that bass and just rubbing that bass so graciously, and said Robbie was into the groove, man. Then they said Robbie just inched slowly off the stage, and just he stayed up there about 5 minutes and rubbed before he inched off. And then when he inched off, they heard him rubbing in the background, and all the lights was out. And he said all of a sudden the lights came back on, and everybody, Peter and the whole of them blood clots back on the stage. We said, boom, boom. So imagine that, money, you know what I mean? Because they don't give a show like that again. So in remembrance and to talk about some of the people they were with, you know what I mean? They worked with the likes of, the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Bob Dylan, Grace Jones, Stanley Clark, so on. So you can just go on. Every Shabba Ranks, who you want to talk about? They done been with him, you dig? So we wanted to give a moment of silence to Robbie Shakespeare, and one of the great American and great world and Jamaica, excuse me, because y'all don't know we love him too over here in America. That's why I say one of the great American bass players, but one of the world-renowned bass players. Let's give a moment of silence to I Brother Robbie Shakespeare. So, yes, Rastafari. So we had a little reggae thing in our background here. Say I'm gonna play, it's that season time here, and people play all kind of something other, you know what I mean? So we just jump into this thing, Let's jump into this thing, man, because we have a long way to go and a lot to talk about. Now I want you all to remember to be sure to share, like. You ain't seen me in a while. And I'll be coming here, here and there. I might not come as often because I now like to sit back and study and collect all my information. Yeah, you see me with the notebook in my hand, and I'm scribbling down what I need to talk about and everything, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm getting notes. I got I got the tablet, so I can even give some visuals of things, on the receipt side. But whether I give you this or not, you can go and find out for yourself. I'm giving you fraudulent information, and I'm not, because that's why I have so many subscribers and so many people steady follow me, and some of you all who still check for me worldwide here in America as well. So let's jump right into it. So lately, and remember, we're talking about white supremacist maneuvers, man. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta look at what I'm saying by that. These supremacist maneuvers are also being enacted and carried out by their sock puppets, who are black, Latino, Asian, who had disdain for us, like these judges out here. These judges out here are now off the chain, I know y'all heard about that judge. We'll get into that, who was looking at some robbery, and then the word nigga just slipped off her mouth like like she was part of the fat boys, sticker, ha ha ha, nigga. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What the hell wrong with her? She done lost her mind and probably lost her job in the bench too. You know what I'm saying? Because but once again, white maneuvers. And you'll know when you see white maneuvers due to some of the content in which we go into. Now, remember, once again, I want you guys to share and like, but I'm going to tell you something. The sharing is more important than the likes. I ain't tripping on that. I get paid off of this. I get paid very good in what I do, okay? I work hard and I make my own money. So I ain't tripping on the money. But it would be nice to get some of it. So if y'all get me to 100,000 likes, even 10,000, yeah, I'll take that money, you understand me? Let's not get it twisted. All right? But that's not what it's about. You know, that's what I'm basically saying. You know, but I'm not a fool, okay? All money, well, not all money, but yeah, all money is good money. It's what you do with the money. The money don't know where the hell it come from. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why the Father says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto me is me. So he wasn't talking about your money. He's talking about your soul, your time, and your conscience. But as I get off my soapbox and back on another soapbox, let's talk about starting off with Uncle Jim Crow Joe Biden. Now, you see, Uncle Jim Crow Joe, he has plenty of opportunities to show that he is not down with white supremacy, which we know he's a segregationist, and he learns from the most staunchest segregationists, because these were his segregationist father teachers, people like Strom Thurmond and George Wallace. These people was his idols. You know what I'm saying? You know, he studied right up under Strom Thurmond, you know? He was that cocaine bill that they came out with, that crack bill. That was a brainchild of Strom Thurmond and Joe Biden. So that being said, let's talk about the vid fund that they supposed to have in, you know, that big C, you know. So we don't like to say the word because they'll want to give you all kind of stupid ass shadow bans and they won't probably post my shit. So we call it the vid. You know what I mean? The video. You know what I mean? They have a fund, you know, for that. You know what I mean? And they were giving it to all states. Now, you see, Joe Biden had an opportunity to show you that, okay, black people, yeah, I ain't done nothing for you, but I'm going to do at least something for you, you know? He could have did a George Wallace, you know what I mean? Not so much the nigger bill that got dumbass people voting Democrat. They ain't getting shit for the last 60 years. I'm 57, so you might say 57, close to 60. Ain't quite 60. It was 57 years because I'm 57, and they signed that bill back in 64, and that's the year I was born. And all you damn fools been voting Democrat ever since, and being the coons along with them and thinking that you feeling good because you vote and you don't get shit. So that's just y'all dumbasses. So that being said, also let's put this out there. So the shit at this point, I really don't give a damn about y'all no more. Cause look, I don't care to hear you come talking about, you ain't vote. It don't matter if you ain't vote. It's how you vote and what you voting for. And you're voting as a block as black people, and we vote as a unit and vote and stay on code. You know, the code is generational wealth and how we start that with the reparations. You know what I mean? There are other things that goes along with it. It's all other tangibles that go with it. It just ain't about the money, y'all. Y'all know that. I done broke it down many times. You go back to look at some of my old posters. I done broke it down even to the dollar amount to each black person. So, you know, let's just keep it a buck. Whatever happens to you, I say all that to say this, to whatever happens to you, Negroes, that's what you get. Okay? From this point on, that's what y'all get. Because see, Uncle Jim Crow Joe is showing you niggas, man, you know, he don't give a fuck about you. You dumbass niggas keep making concessions and arguments and daggone being defense attorneys for this damn old fart. So you all continue with that bullshit. I'm not going to play the game with your dumbasses. I'm going to get in the group of those of us conscious-minded and forward-minded thinking people, and we're going to stay over there. And y'all can keep y'all dumb, stupid asses over there. Because he had an opportunity to show something. As far as this vid fund, that's supposed to be part of the Build Back America, but it's supposed to be in that vid fund, you know what I mean? Because of, you know, it was supposed to be in the vid relief fund. Well, instead of holding that shit over states' heads and making them kill that stop that qualified immunity for police, and then also push that crime bill that they talk about, that George Floyd bullshit, but that had need to be critiqued before they needed to just halt on that, because that need to be critiqued like a motherfucker. That George Floyd bullshit, that need to be that George Floyd crime bill need to be critiqued like a motherfucker, because they got a lot of fucking Swiss cheese holes in that shit. So don't you all go for that shit, excuse me. Don't you all go for that shit, excuse me. Because that's just what it is. Some shit. He could have held this money over their heads. This is millions and billions of dollars. He could have held that shit over states' head and make them, because see, let me show you why it would have worked. Right now, every state is hurting. Can't none of these states out here say, nah, we ain't want that vid relief fund, because of the vid is what got everybody hurting economically right now. Shit has gone up, not down. Shit, I can put fucking $40 in my car. That bitch just barely get over the halfway tank. Before this shit, man, my shit could fill up with that 40. See what I'm saying? A motherfucking gallon of milk is about damn near $5, y'all. You better wake the fuck up. You niggas out here paying $20 a pack of cigarettes down there. Fuck y'all think this is? So he could have held that shit over their heads. But he didn't. And on top of that, what did he do? He gonna pull out his little thing of salt and gonna pour some on the wound. Because instead of holding that over their head, he went and gave the police departments in all the states more money. Written into the vid. As a matter of fact, in the vid relief bill itself, he made sure he implemented the police departments in that shit. So how you know? But once again, all you biting knots and you biting sexuals, this what the fuck y'all get. Niggas like us be trying to tell y'all what you voting for. You don't need to vote at all. Hold your vote. We should vote as a block, as foundational black Americans. Descendants of slaves. People who are of Aboriginal descent and descendants of slaves. Or both. Who are black. Who has been through the black plight in this country. We need to vote together. We don't have to have a party, y'all. We don't need no party. Don't listen to them daggone Rescrublican coons who over there with black faces on, with big noses and ears and lips, and they look like me and you, and they trying to tell you that, you know, for the economics, see, they try to come to you on the Rescrublican side like, oh, because see, the economics is what we're all about. We're about the money. And they're about fucking you over too, dumbass. Ain't none of them some bitch good for you. So, you know, which leads me into the other part of what I'm going to talk about. This is why you have the Kyle Rittenhouses of the world. This is part of the what, y'all? Let's say it together. The white racist maneuvers. These are all maneuvers, man. These are the things they do to keep themselves going, to keep their strength, to dumb down you Negroes, and to make it to where as though it's just plain, I'm white and I say so. And you niggas go along to get along. Like the Charlemagne the frauds. Look how Kyle Rittenhouse had a whole court system. Now this is unprecedented, y'all. And we ain't gonna stay long on this. Because now they parade him around like he a hero. See, you Negroes. You Negroes. Where was that energy, y'all? From this summer past. And the summer past that. Everybody hanging in D.C. down there on 16th Street. You can't even ride up and down the goddamn street. Because of the damn Black Lives Matter Plaza. I ain't really against it, but I think it's a big fraud. It's a big Democratic fraud. Yeah, really, I am against it. You can clean that shit up, man, and let the street free again. Open that shit up, man. Yeah, I said it. Wash that shit up, man, and open the motherfucking street, because that shit's some fraudulent shit. Everybody looking at them women down there want to wipe this shit up. That they should have wiped that shit up, man. Go out there and put acid all on the street. Wipe that shit up. That shit's some bullshit, man. That's some Democratic LGBT shit. You niggas should know that by now. They don't give a fuck about you. Where was all that energy for the Kyle Rittenhouse thing? Oh, y'all niggas gonna say, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Y'all talking about, oh, because it's a white boy. Listen to some of y'all niggas. See, look at that. See, y'all on some bullshit. Oh, it was white, but I don't give a fuck. No white boys died for you. So them was like some John Browns. Y'all bitch ass niggas ain't done nothing like that. I've got more respect for John Brown than most of you niggas. That's a white man. That nigga's a martyr than me. Fuck y'all niggas done. Shut the fuck up. Talking about, oh, them was some white. So what? Them white boys was sitting there trying to stick up for some niggas that cracker hadn't, excuse my French, that white boy then came and stuck a gun in somebody's face. That's what that is. That boy came and stuck guns in those guys' faces. And y'all gonna sit there and gonna sit there and not have no energy for that because some white boys got killed, huh? That's bullshit. The white boys are sticking up for them brothers, you know what I'm saying? They figured, nah, don't y'all go chase them. Cause the brothers, see what, y'all don't know the whole gist of it. They really showed it, they don't want to show you the whole tapes. Cause he was down there pointing his guns. They don't want to show that. You know, you got a judge telling you that, nah, we don't need to show that. You got a judge telling you that you don't have to call the people victims. Excuse me 1 second, you all.